Yeah. Otherwise, so like nice and like it's a nice medication.
So live.
Hey, give it a toning.
Where is tongue? Okay, I bought it connected to this.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah. Make sure it's here.
You can step up.
Yeah. Yeah. Place down. Okay. I'm a serious or that me? No, I think you should stand on the stage. It's not supposed to give you that last, yeah. It's cool? Maybe this, bit of Grab it. Yeah, Polly? Eat! 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 Back. Raji Pachi. Raji. Fake. Okay. All right, everyone. Let's get started in the next couple of minutes. We can take your seat. We'll have lunch served around the month curry.
Yes, it's my mother. All the surprise. It's my so power. So, what?
Wonderful.
The sign that silent is in vain. Oh, can you last time? Yeah, wait. About to buy you this. About to buy something. About it, send me husband.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh, you think me? Yeah. Something past that.
All right, Reddy. I'm gonna start from real now. Please take a seat. I'll make you call you out by her name. That will.
내가 봤을 때 가까운 바 뭐라 내가 내가 그 때문에 사카는
Right. That probably just sucked. It just start. Before we get started today, I want to thank you all for coming to my father, Gumadi Dharma Reddy's celebration of life event. I know his casting has been surprise to some people, and there's a void that's felt by his passing. But today, I really encourage all of us to celebrate his life. There's no tragedy here. We are blessed to have him leave us the way he did and give us so much in the time that he was with us. So we can turn some of these problems upside down and take a deep breath. And today we'll just join in celebrating his life. Before I start my words about my dad, I just really want to take a step back and talk about what a family is. But my dad, I've always known, we have a big family. I have 35 first cousins. We're tremendously blessed. I have so many people out here in America. But when my dad passed, it was amazing and beautiful to see how quickly our family unit mobilized and stepped up in every which way. The priest gave us a very lengthy list of things to do. When someone asks away, it's like this clock starts. We have to do cremation, and we have to do funeral, and we have to take close actions and put it there and introduce puja, that puja. Can't go to anyone's house and cook food. We learned a lot, and more importantly, I learned a lesson about what family is. Because our family really, oh my God, really rose to the occasion, and it was a beautiful day. And so with that, I want to thank my Sujinatama. I think there's been no one more instrumental than Sujinatama this past 13 days, working tirelessly at our house, helping, cussing my mom's head, doing everything she could. Ushanti also helped tremendously. Nidanti, Hanjaka, Shitaka, mother-in-law, so many people, including my dad's daughters-in-law, Nirajodane, Sandipodne, Radhika, and Juhi. Everyone just did so much. I know I'm just shouting out women, but yeah, I mean, they really did a lot of them. So Thank you to all my uncles and cousins as well that have stepped up. Um, but if anyone really wants to know what family is, it's not just in good times. It's in the times of gas and warning. So, with that, I'll just tell you guys a little bit about my dad. I think some people don't know certain things about him. As someone has a life journey, you're just part of this leaflet. I want to give everyone an extended view. So my dad, Numidi Reddy, was born in December 1943 to Sri Gumani Baga Reddy, my grandfather, and Narsan, my grandmother. He had 4 brothers and 4 sisters. He was number 7 out of 9 children. As an adolescent, he went to school and excelled in mathematics. His older brother wanted him to become a doctor, and he took some classes in biology, and after the dissection course, he quickly realized that medicine was not for him. He pleaded with his family and transitioned his education to engineering. He attended the regional engineering college at Warangod from 1960 to 1965, focusing on civil engineering. My grandpa, Bagarani, was a wealthy landlord, and he did not want his son to work as an engineer for someone else, claiming that we don't work for others. Hundreds of people work for us. So my dad, after his engineering school, helped his dad with farming for 2 years after graduating grad school. My dad eventually married my mom on May 21st, 1969. After his marriage, she had sights on a life and marriage. So he moved to the USA in 1971 to pursue his master's degree at Norfolk University in Inglewood, California. Inglewood? He got his state license in civil and mechanical engineering. After his first ever interview for his first ever job, Miserin, finished his grad school, first interview, first job. He got hired as a junior engineer at Mason. He never had a job after that. For the next 45 years, he ultimately became a chief engineer at Mason Industries and had a really remarkable 45-year career until his retirement during the pandemic in 2020. His specialty was seismic retrofitting, and he worked on many new hospitals and their constructions as well as highways built. He used an reactants friends like, I know I couldn't be a doctor, but at least I keep the hospitals my son work at safe. Her earthquake at least. This next part of my speech is I have from on the speech is I don't know again, but say this and say this. My dad was the most amazing husband to my mother Pushpa for the past nearly 57 years. She always tells me that Daddy treated her like a queen. Every day I would come home from work and then find my dad watching TV, eating chips. But my mom would be sitting at his feet and you'd be pressing her dad, and I was like, oh brother, does he see this? When my mom came to America, she didn't know how to cook when she joined her. He taught her how to cook. And they always actually enjoyed great teamwork and addition. They were a couple beyond their years. My dad would cut the meat, prepare the food, and do all the dishes. He was named for 2006 in the 70s. And I think I was just named for the 70s. My parents eventually became one of the most renowned Southern California samosa makers, with my dad perfectly cutting the tortilla and then my mom building them and frying. I promise those samosas will be anyways. My dad was also an amazing father. I recently read a study where the fathers of my generation, spends 3 times the amount of time than our fathers did with us. I hated reading that study and I was kind of embarrassed by it because in my case, it was definitely not true. When it comes to my dad, I still had a lot of catching up to do in terms of being a dad myself. My dad always had time for me. He was never on call, never had to work weekends. When I came home from school, he was there for me. From mixing my dinner plate every day, which he still did until the very end, to watching sports with me, teaching ina, throwing baseballs to me, watching Kailanok together, coming to watch me pitch in high school. My dad always gave me his presence and the fart. He really enjoys sports, Bollywood, promoting the Telugu community and culture and language, and also playing cards, rummy, with his buddies. The Dodgers were the first love in movie to LA. He instilled that in me, and he instilled that in my family as well. Winning the World Series this past year was magical. My dad was following every day and every accent we call and text his team to the. But we didn't win the World Series again. I know and we all know in this room, or at least today, when we win the World Series this year for the third time, I know and we all know in this room that he will be graded from year to year. If sports was his first love, Bollywood was the second. When we were in the VHS days, he would be a first to rent the newest movie from East West Appliances, and they waited to save it for him because they know he was coming for it. I used to go with them on those trips and I'm like, I mean, they know to save it for you. But after weekly trip there and it's different stuff. And then off cinema opened to 3 for Asia. And you again be the first at every movie premiere with my mom. 3 was truly a standard place in the world, and it was a large part for close access to Vine Boulevard for all his Hollywood entertainment fix. My dad was also heavily involved in the Telugu community, from the first organizations like Dharma and Hata, and some of the newer ones today. He remained actively involved in preserving our language, our culture, and our tradition. He truly believed that we were better united than divided, and always looked to find ways to make things work for all parties. One of my core childhood memories were our sweeping cards parties. Cards parties were like when men would play cards, drink whiskey, amidado, eat and drink, and for politics. As a long-time Democrat in the group, of largely with all in the group, my dad never let that get in the way of his friendships, due to his deep respect for them as individuals, beyond petty politics. He greatly looked forward to hosting and attending Car's parties. It was always the finest night. And as is, there was ours too. Religiously, he was obviously a Hindu, but he was deeply tied to Buddhism as well. He would recite Buddhist chants in the morning, and a house that just as many Buddhas as any other god. He meaningfully named his firstborn son Gautam, which was Buddha's birth name, Siddhartha Gautam. Less meaningfully, my name Buddha was chosen because in mine were Delphim. Something that a Southern life do. Buddha does be in the best of us, so I thought. My dad was obviously fluent in W, but as a Hyderabadi, he was also fluent in Urdu, and he took pride in. So he was a Buddhist, Urdu-speaking W. That carried my somehow. My dad was as pure-hearted as a cup. He similarly loved people. He cared deeply for his family, deeply revered his friends, and he was always open to meeting strangers. I'll tell you a cute story that best depicts my dad. So one time my dad goes to Mogadishu airport to drop off a family window. He randomly got stopped by an Imi that say, "Sir, do you know if there are any good Indian restaurants nearby?" So my dad's follow up question was, how much time do you have? Apparently, that few hours. So my dad took it upon himself to take them to one of the favorite restaurants in Artesia, have their meal together, and then he dropped them back off at Mogadishu airport for their flight. That's what my dad was. So, I want to thank you all for coming today. Today we celebrate his life. His death was no tragedy. This isn't a story of a life cut short, but of a life fulfilled, and we must celebrate that there. He left us peacefully, with no pain, no suffering. Everyone in here today enriched his life, and your presence today here shows that he enriched yours as well. He is appreciative of all of you. When I see everyone's reactions for this passing, I see kids my age worried about their own parents. I see grandparents and aunties worried about their spouses. That is natural. But we can all use moments like my father's death to make the most of the time we all have together. It doesn't have to be a fancy trip abroad. It could be meeting each other at a local favorite restaurant, driving a few extra miles to visit someone in their home. My dad would go the extra mile for those he loved. And if you want to truly honor him, let's find that memory in you and make the effort. Thank you everyone for your time. Appreciate you. Alright. Now will be the we call it currency. Alright. I would next like to introduce Krishna. Krishna was my father's brother-in-law, also his little brother, for the past 57 years. Finneharj, my father's at the Krishna, so he's just gonna recite poem and he can use the support as he walks up stage. What do you want to be? Baiko so this.
Io no, però applicare was freeze. I promise no pass. That's how. No. Please, a little governor. Yamung allow silence in honor around the hall. Please there. Forgive. Tay. Om Shanti goes. My speech is not like Gunda. He is Pagi. When I wake up in the morning, I see a new bright shades arrow. I know because you is you Bawa. Who else in me? And it has to be you. Yet truly a same star in our lives. I know Pastor, you are looking down on us to make sure we are okay. Here we are hearing your sweet memories that can never be perished. I could tell you not good, Paul. All foods, you will remain in our hearts. But I read the last one. Gane na pagaon. Ato bira up. Your memories will leave be demons. I know you let us, and my heart is airy with achingly. When somebody allow, become my nagari, and that never becomes a treasure. So my dearest Bob, Please label me. I'll be coming and join. Please pray for my victory. Peace on this earth. Aye.
Hey, good performer. Next up is Ishmama's son, Dharma. Please join me in welcoming my cousin, little brother, Dharma. Good.
Iolana Dharma. I'm Dharma Reddy's nephew. He was my mama. His wife Pushpa is my dad's sister, and my Adam. We all grew up in Seattle with my cousins, Latong, Haji, Sindhu. Mama was the first to immigrate to the U.S. out of my dad and his siblings. Then Pushpa came to the U.S., and my dad and dad's brother, Daishana, came. Then after my dad got married, my mom came, and they all lived together in the same house, years. After Gafamlaba, Zatam was born, then I was born. All of us still living in the same house together on Avenue of Horsenal in Threos. Then we all lived and grew up in Threos for many years, until I was in high school. So I had the good fortune of growing up with Mona since the day I was born. I miss him, man. So many the same memories with Mona, together as a family and with him specifically. He took me to India without my parents when I was 1.5 years old to show me our grandparents. He was the one who shaved my head for my mother. Every morning after shower, he would pray in the flame, kneel down, and gong a prayer bell. Then he would drop a committee out to school in his cold vista with his opinions and sun soda in front of the console. He took me to the hospital when Atum and I were fighting, and I got stitches. He made the best sugary tea and would do Sunday morning outros, a tradition that I up to my own family and kids. My earliest memories of watching Loving the Dodgers was with Mom from the World Series in May, to watching the 2025 World Series together with him, with them, my dad and my eldest son, Amari. We would watch Mike Tyson heavyweight fights, Ramayan, and listen to Mana's interesting theories about how Christianity and Hinduism were tied together. One story he would love to tell all the time was, one time he took me to the grocery store when I was maybe 3. I kept calling for him, Mama, Mama, Mom. And the cashier heard and said to Mama, "You know, that little boy is cute, but he seems confused." So many hidden memories, and they all me feel good childhood memories. But my most special memory of Mom is how he hugged me. Imagine me, the small, strong kid, and him as big teddy bear. He would bring me in for the normal hug, and bring me in even tighter for a tighter hug, rolling a stone, as he would whenever he did anything emphatic. And I would be on my tippy toes falling, and no tippy toes lying. That would even happen as an adult. So many memories of him, but this is the most special and visceral for me. Now, one story that wholly captures this and what he meant to me. When my Shimon, my mom's brother, and young family has to read and tragedies 25 years ago, I was a sophomore in college at UCSD. When it happened in subsequent days after, I was all alone at UCSD because my parents had to fit Taipei where the tragedy happened. I was all alone. Thankfully, I think after a few days, Daishana came to pick me up from UCSD and took me back to Sears. When Daishana picked me up, I didn't know how to be and acted like I didn't have them. Not sure I said even a word the whole drive back with him. He took me back to his house, and Rekaping was making some food for me. Rekaping was not to approach him, but I kind of avoided it by making casual conversation and cracking jokes. She was very confused, but everyone let it be because no one knew how to approach him. After some time, Mama, Ata, and Nushanti came, and I was sitting on the couch, and Mama come straight to me. doesn't say anything, opens his arms, and gives me the biggest sigh. And I just noted everything released and I cried in despair. He didn't say a word, just held me. I will never forget that moment, ever. In my worst and hardest moment in my life, Mama just held me. And that's how he was to me. He was my security and protector. It was the big guy that held us and carried us over his head. It was my mom. He reminds me of what a beautiful and simple life we have had, and much and to him. Coming from India, showing his brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws, all of us living together in one ups, growing up together in Cerritos. One of my favorite pictures of him is with him, Pushpata, Daishana, my dano-in-law, just sitting on the grass smiling. It captures that beauty and simplicity. And Mama would take home videos of these beautiful and simple moments of us growing up. Birthdays, Christmas, just days at our off. It was like a show of 100 years. And we have those memories bitten, and because of it. That's what life we had. Beautiful, simple, together. I miss him, I miss his presence, I miss his hugs. He was always there. Every little and big life I meant, he was there. And not just for us, as we were kids, but for my kids too. He was there in the delivery room after my kids were born. And at my kids' life events, he's holding my kids, just like he held us as kids. I miss him, but I'm reminded of how lucky and blessed we are to have such great fathers in our lives. And I have Mama on top of that. And Mama lived the life that I and we can all aspire to. And for that, I need even more from us. Thank you, Mom.
That was his Kisama. You're not really supposed to outdo someone's son's speech at a funeral, so, and Kausan Kopa had it retired. Thank you for sharing those words and those amazing moments. Alright, next up, is Suryanto. Is Suryanto here? There he is. Alright, Suryanto represents our family, but also a member of Dad's famous cards party. And so please, welcome to your uncle.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have known Dharma for the last 41 years. I just met him when he traveled to India to attend our wedding. What was begun as a Dante connection soon grew into something deeper. He became a surrogate big brother to me, someone I looked up to and respected for most of my life. Over the years, Anushree and I spent countless hours in the Anaya and Pushpavadrama in the car together, whether driving to cards parties in the Rambling or traveling to Vegas for Ata or Naka board meetings. Anaya was not only a role model to me personally, but also to our entire cards group. In fact, we often refer to him as the chaplain of the cards party group. He organized, coordinated, brought everyone together. Once a year, we would take the cards party on the road and spend beautiful weekends together with a group. Beyond the cards table, his influence on me was significant. He encouraged me to become more involved in our community. He guided me toward arts creative in our local and national Telugu associations. He believed strongly in staying connected and giving back. He did not seek recognition, he simply showed up and led by example. If something needed to be done, he stepped forward. If guidance was needed, he offered it quietly and steadily. That consistency made him a killer in our family and in the Garda community. To me, he was more than a collection. He was a role model and a mentor, and of all things, a fellow diehard artist for Southern Games together, both live and on television. Or 1 year, or 41 years is a long time to share a bond with someone. I'm grateful for every moment we shared together. We will miss his presence at our gatherings and events, but the example he set, a leadership, involvement, and commitment to a committee will remain with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sri Marco. Now I'd like to invite my dad's college friend, Shashiongo. He's his college buddy from REC Warongo, from 60 to 65. He's also a time basketball fan. He excellently every time the Clippers are losing. They are losing and let's point out. Hopefully those kicks are less. But please welcome Shashiongo to see.
Good afternoon, everyone. Look at all the people here. He etched so many hearts. Before I begin the remarks, I want to offer my heartfelt condolences to Pushpa, Helpmar, and all his family members. I came across this say, Dr. Susan, don't cry because it is over. Smile because it's happened. And Indian Nobel laureate Thereboard said, say not in grief that he is no more, but say in thankfulness that he was. A death is not the extinguishing of a light, but the putting out of the lamp because the dawn has come. I never imagined how we're talking about Dharma in the past sense. I first met Dharma in 1960. We were both accepted with the NIT well. It was an instant start of a lifelong tension. Please you turn to see my eye. Warangal in those days was born like a large village, very primitive, and since the campus was still under construction, we were housed in an abandoned wheel workers' colony, about 400 of us. So take the building camp. We were captive, no place to go, TV had not come media yet, there were no radios, no cameras. Or we have 1,000 pictures to show you. Our only means of transportation was our bicycles. No doubt our fellow Hyderabadis, classmates in the audience, Asma and Longopal, have many references of those days. Dharma and I were classmates for 5 years and roommate for 1 year. For 5 years, it was breakfast, lunch, dinner together. We spent the weekends together too. During the holidays, we would go to Secunderabad. In Secunderabad 2 a.m., close by. I was in Martpally and he was in Bolaram. I have visited this boy in Bolaram many times, and at the pleasure of Ye, his father is of Reddy and all of his brothers. People is me too. When I moved to the States, I lost everything, but as soon as he came to the US, we reconnected immediately. We also shared the like philosophy together. You may or may not know this, but he was a student party president. He was extremely intelligent, and everybody became his new. I recall one funny anecdote I can recount. We were teenagers and had big appetites. On one occasions, we both finished dinner in the dining hall, and we were about to leave. I reached out and drank a full glass of water. This is what Dharma said, no speak Telugu. ఈ కడుపులో వస్తే తాగండి మీరు నీళ్ళు పుట్టినాం ఇంకొంచెం అన్నం వచ్చినా. He was serious. It would be drastic. If you have so much room in your tummy, why are you filling it with water? Why did you take more food? He was not kidding at all. There's so many fun memories we share. Napoleon said, "Great people are not idiots. They consume their lives and burn the key and burn that they may share life on the darkness of the world." That's why we did that. So rather than say goodbye, instead let's say we'll see you later already. Because on one moonless night, when you're looking up, you'll see a meteor streaming across the sky, and you'll recall the words of Napoleon and say, "There goes Amardi, there goes greatness." Thank you.
All right. We have two more speakers. The next speaker is Malik, who's going to be speaking on behalf of the Telugu Association here in Southern California. Please welcome Malik.
Thank you, Tom. Dharma. It feels like the Dharma name is given so appropriately by his parents. Illured by Dharma. There are so many things about him that you can watch and learn. I have the association of, having the pleasure and opportunity of spending time with him for at least 28 years. So I learned a lot of things. My great memory used to be the lunches that we used to do when he was working in Mason. I was just 2 miles away from his workplace. So lunchtime, if he is free, I always ask him, "I'm available for lunch," and then we used to go talk a lot of things. And I've learned a lot of things. I tell you what I have learned. So you know what? When I first went to Dharma Temple through Telugu Association and all, I got an interview later because you look so tall. I'm serious. And I do like a headmaster of a high school. When it is intimidating. But when you go a little bit deeper, it's so kind and passionate. And he treats people with value and respect. And he's totally different. And the Dharma Reddy, he lived by Dharma. Dharma is canon. He was kind of, we used to think, all of the Telugu community, we used to think Bhishma Pitama. As he walks, as a steady and tall and heady. It looks like he is bearing Dharma on his shoulders. His character, he lived by love. I'll give you one example. When he was a convener for a big Telugu Association event, ATA, in Long Beach Convention Center, there are about 100 committees, about 140 people. So he used to manage all of them, and a lot of people here represent here. And then for Auntie is always a person. She is very far from all these politics and everything. Her Kushpa Auntie always supported him. And wherever we go to her house, from numerous weddings, Auntie used to cook. The terrain of Ford, I was very far away. I used to love to go to Auntie's house. And even it was a lot of Saregama Pass and see the life before I know it with that Dharma, right? So Dharma Reniku said, for Art of Naharigan Telugu Association, it's a non-profit organization. I will go every city, but on my own expense. I won't charge to the organization. And I take care of everything. I lived in. He traveled to numerous cities in 2 years period, and he never chance once he will learn to associate. That is Dharma. So that's of value. You see, he lived his life very principally. Look at his family, the way he raised his family, right? And the same kind of attitude and love, respect that he used to his family, and he extends to the community. I felt like I'm his son too. Because I know the same time, if touch anybody here who have been with the Lafani uncle, they give you the same emotion. That you don't want to any personally. Everybody is right. I am close. I'm close. I know it's not the place to why. I do not. But that's the emotion that everybody emotes towards our uncle. Like he's my own. That's what it is. So Dhamma the way he treats his wife, that teaches how to respect a woman. The way he responds to another human being, he teaches why you. Sometimes you think, oh, why you are give value to the guy? But for him, it's no, nothing, never takes light. Everything is depth. Everything is real. Everything is gravity and serious. Dharma and uncle treats everybody equally as in his own. And if anybody comes from India as a guest, ask priority. You have to learn how to, host. He is so kind, so passionate. He takes care of you like your Gautam said, right? That is, I did not feel it is a crime when he said, he meets somebody a long piece, says back, understand he's Dhammaranatham. That's what he loves. I mean, human relationships, the roots connected to roots, that is Dharma. How he is connected with all of us, people who come, hello community, family, raising kids properly, teaching. So this is, even though he comes from a very family, he is a very close family, but nothing about him is fancy. Nothing about him is fancy. He is simple life. There is no show off. Everything like how humble you can live. That is one thing that you can learn from Dharma. And see, Dharma really is no way. He has he used to send, I think, a lot of people, all those Burlat movie songs and all. He loves movie, he loves life. His point it is life is all about experiences. And he captures experiences. Wherever he goes, he uses his phone or camera or video, he records. So that is the beautiful memory is to us. It's not like he's gone away. He's beautiful memory in our minds. So Dharma is not like we miss him. He is with us. So, and also the Dharma, the guidance, the love, how to live light, how to live simple, how to give value. These are all the things Dharma regard us, and we really invite them. Thank you very much, Golan.
Everyone always held the Gautam. President. All right. Like Sergio said, my dad loved Reddy. And I know we're keeping you for lunch, so we have 2 more speakers. But if we could try to keep them short as also, so we could all eat. We have some of my dad's here, curries here. So we have 2 more speakers. One is Dad's college friends, is a Ram Gopal. And the last speaker will be Lashan Koka. So, Mr. Uncle Bonko, please join.
It's a hard speech to follow. But I'm going to wait and I'm going to be shocked. Be affecting Waki. Free from your lunch. So I want to start by saying there are always few angels among us. We don't even know that out there. And they're sent here to lay this urn at their place. And these angels, they won't have halos around their bodies. But their light is shone above us. We feel. And they do not perform flashy miracles, but their good deeds were perfect far and wide. They're not generals that control huge armies, that conquer places, subjugate people, but they build peace. And they both could bond their bodies and they nurture animals, they support communities, and these communities, each families in turn replicate values he taught us. And they also act kind and love light. And that's really fascinating. And it is variation as well. And unfortunately for us, staying in Yeshua was a very large area. Those angels are reckoned back, being step, but their work on this way is done. And there are there for greater issue. And he was one certainly can come over here. And I was very fortunate to have shared 5 years of my life as a college student. We all live together. We all ate together. We learned together. We dreamed together those 5 years. And then he was a hurricane. I came early in Boston. And then many years later, in our 40s, when I elected Britain here in LA. And I was fortunate to be part of his life now, Hispanic. I got to know Hispanic. I saw them family keep growing right before my eyes. And it became family first. And my son helped the last bishop. And they have mutual respect for each other. And she's reprehending him all the time, Priscilla. She's the wise counsel he needs, or anything he intends to do and wants to do. He's not by it. And that's the lazy move. And he raised the wonderful family, lovely family. Let them go from the vice, the ransom. It's so lovely, feel so together. And there's so much harmony in the families. It's took place. And they share their milestones, they celebrate practically every day their life together. And not only together, equal and us, college classes, great totalitarian, and it's wonderful. And he sort of pulled himself into whole raising children, and that was his greatest pleasure, his family first. And then it's a braver community. And we still have fun time to spend it almost even one time to give it 10,000. And as always, the consequence is happiness, is force, is means the happiness sorry. And he had a very contained order. But that's who he is. And he did not want any accolades. He didn't want to live on a marquee anywhere. He didn't want to live treated. He didn't want titles. He needed none of those to do his gospel. And he did simply because that gave him pleasure, that gave his life a purpose. But more than all of that, it support everybody including his family. He was doing for them. He was never the center of the illusions of his own life. It was set aside for everybody else and to set a kneeling band. We were always sitting and he really aspired anything he could have. And that's the greatness by it too. And his great gift to all us in this room was simply his presence. The presence being joy, he rejoiced, and he was wonderful. So as he's called back for his next greater mission, and we're not really at a loss. We should not think we are at a loss. Look at the great legacy that he left behind. His family, his children, and his sort of community, and just to count the number of people that so that's amazing. And his mission will be multiplied, and it will never stop. The needle keeps moving forward. His children, his family, and other people great have our duty to do that. We are fortunate that we shared our journey and we have strong part in the situation belongs to him. He has a permanent place in our house and with his deeds. So we cannot stay. I will love him in by just follow these actions. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Last but not least, I'd like to welcome Mr. Lakshan Koka and his wife, Reddy. I'm going to have on the last Thursday of a time thing when I start back clock privacy. This kid. Feel free to the last one.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Me so beautiful to see you here. Andy, never thought I'll be standing here like this without memory pool right next to you. No big story, I may say the timeline, but 49 years ago, I was brought to being the Dharma Action Foundation as the ECHM. And I'm watching all these others. There were a handful of them that were simple, nice, patient, and diligent. One of the first ones I call level with them are very kind, very giving. And one of the conversations I had with him after that was we setting up a huge fashion show, and he wanted to book them in. And, and believe me, would come being the teenage boy, he was more American than Indian. And this was the Indian fashion show. So I pulled on, so I said, don't worry about it. And then I pulled on, he said, don't worry, it'll be fine. And the beauty was, he did a great job. I want to come and bust you what I can, that you didn't do a great job. And the scene in happiness on the Mari Jacob also respond his face about maybe these for bond. So I tell you, Gautam was saying, Darshan, he was very fond of it. The fact of the matter is, we were actually more fond of him than he was. We were welcoming. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. Not just how you do it, you do the same thing. You name every single person, be like you are the most important person in their lives. And who are they? We're nobody. But they took us up. They treated us like their case. And the life keeps going on. There's so many things to learn from you guys. I remember you guys used to go to Henderson. And I told Uncle Henderson, it's very Muslim welcome. And I live here inside there the kids are in the house. It is amazing you barely you're like Kumar and I were sitting together and Kumar goes, he was at the Jonah. And I said, maybe too much of it, don't? See, he was always stupid with people, was always trying to make everyone be together. And that's as those as good as we are, we're not greater in unity. And I hate saying it, but maybe the future generations be made better. I'm watching you guys, I'm watching my kids, and I'm hoping they'll do a better job than some of the others have done. So I just want to say Same with the actually part of your lives. You're fortunate to having in our lives. It is truly a blessing. I lost my dad when I was young as a teenager, so he definitely filled the hole from it, and I really appreciate it.
Hi, Andy. You know, you and Uncle were the only other couple that I called mom dad besides my parents. When the two of us were meeting into a relationship, and that was during the same convention, I said, he's a good guy. This one you should keep. So he encouraged us every step of the way. He was at all our life events, and thank you. And about them and with them, you guys were right. He does set all the Hollywood videos. I saw half of them. And every time Lunchman and I ever got on stage and did any Genkalu that he would call it, he would record it and send it to us. Thank you for having us in your lives. Chill.
Your
I totally forgot about that action show, but I did put that on our birthday application for like really welcomes the links today. All right, I think that's it. I'm sure someone's gonna want to say something, but please don't. Tell me after. It's time to eat. We had Big Ben Mall. This all is owned by Delhi House. This also catered Rally Man's his wedding. And so the food is from Delhi Goddess. It's absolutely amazing. Please enjoy it. Please share stories. Please smile, exchange numbers. Let's celebrate his life. And so that's we're going to play a song. I don't know who made the song. It's just infecting us for me. But oof, this is new Dharma song. Well, it did no hit it. And now we can start getting food. Hopefully someone will tell you how to get food in orderly fashion. Everyone needed about that. Just listen to it to me. Thank you.
I'm sorry. कोई कोई हमारी टीम है दिल को दे जमाना तारीमा नंबरी हमारी टीम है लवे बिगनस लेरो Chilova, Love, Wahana, Maka, so sorry, bang bang bang, sing. Oh yeah. Somebody